Shalom. As always, I want to start these videos by giving all glory, honor, and thanks to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son for this wisdom and knowledge. That is Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakah Kodash, as well as a double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS, Great Millstone, whom I've learned this truth under and have been laboring, helping younger brothers such as myself understand this 144% doctrine of the Bible. This video, Lord willing, to be edifying, something titled to the sort of "Our People Are Street Struck." And you see on the screen, this is from a 90s New York rapper inspired from this. This came randomly on my Spotify just a few minutes ago. The rapper Big L out of Harlem in the 90s, and he had this song called Street Struck. And you listen to the lyrics of the song, he's basically just breaking down the curses our people are under, okay, trapped in these inner city hellholes, okay, and the curses, who fits the curses. We read in the book of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, is clearly, we can see by process of elimination who fits that, okay, and it's clearly the Israelites, so-called, starting with the so-called blacks, tribe of Judah, on down to the rest of the tribes, so-called Hispanics and Native Americans, okay. So let's I have a few screenshots. And also, Lord willing, the sound quality be edifying. I'm outside. So the first one, he says, all they care about is buck. Salakia. The first one, he says, all they care about is a buck or busting a sweet nut. They don't give a what, because they street struck. Okay, and that's a lot of Jake mindset. Either some clapping some cheeks or clapping guns in the street. Is that type of beast-like mindset, okay, that carnality. And let's get some scriptures on that, because let's pull up the Bible in Deuteronomy, okay, already in that, the 28th chapter, about, just trying to get your rocks off. And then we know also as well, our women being under the curses, we got the majority of our children, starting with the tribe of Judah, so-called blacks, being born out of wedlock, being raised in these single mother homes. Deuteronomy 28 verse 54, so that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil toward his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave. Okay, and we see that curse fit today. The majority of these so-called blacks here in America, especially in these inner cities, are raised in single mother homes. Even in the suburbs, it be like that. And what does that cause? Job 14 at the top. Man that is born of a woman, and you can apply women being raised by these single mothers as well. Man that is born of a woman is a few days and full of trouble. He cometh forth like a flower and is cut down. He fleeth also as a shadow and continueth not. Okay, and we see these Jakes living in these messed up circumstances don't have a long lifespan. Okay, they end up getting gunned down or end up going to jail. It's messed up. This is why we need a savior to get us out of this state of perpetual death. Amos 7 verse 17. Therefore thus said the Lord, thy wife shall be an harlot in the city, and thy sons and thy daughters shall fall by the sword, and the land shall be divided by line, and thou shalt die in a polluted land, and Israel shall surely go into captivity forth of his land. All right, and that matches up with Micah, the second chapter, verse 10, that this isn't our rest, and it is a completely polluted land. This place is completely corrupted. Everything here is polluted, and the ways Esau invented niggas. He created these Frankensteins you see today, and he wants to have all of our people under that mindset, to the point. And what's crazy, it shows you. Let me actually just get to the next one. It shows you how talented our people are. They make, even in this state of poverty and perpetual death, okay, we still make that look cool, okay, but it is really not. It's death. We want to get the hell out of here. We're not at the bottom of the totem pole, okay, and we're not killing each other in the streets for crumbs. Meanwhile, Esau and these heathen nations get richer and richer and richer off our blood, sweat, and tears. Let's get the second screenshot. He says, it's best to go the right route and not the wrong one, because it's going to catch up with you in the long run. Brothers be on the corners acting stupid, getting lifted. Their life is twisted, and most of them are quite gifted. Okay, and that shows you the talent of Jake. Okay, even we make poverty look cool. And Esau, he tries to implement that mindset. You're not so-called black unless you think like a street nigga, unless you talk like a street nigga. And even you got celebrities and heathens with money as well. They try to get their street cred. I just saw a video yesterday of Kamala Harris. She trying to talk like Jake. Okay, it shows you, we're the light of the world, even in this low degenerate state. It also shows you that in the movie ATL. There's this Eve who grew up in a nice neighborhood, but she hanging out with Jake in the hood, and she was embarrassed of being in a nice neighborhood, as well as the movie 8 Mile. What would he say? And Clarence parents have a real good marriage, okay? And they all laughed at him. But your parents supposed to have a good marriage, okay? You're supposed to not live in poverty in crime-infested hoods. So it shows you our people. We need salvation, man. We got to get out of this, and now we're in mental chains as well, okay? And it's only getting worse. Let's get some scriptures on what he just said. First of all, about it's going to catch up with you in the long run. That's why it's in same as, the father of that mindset, which is Esau, Edom, is going to catch up with his ass too. Pursuant to John 8:44, our people are in the same mindset of Esau, the devil, the liar, okay, a man of blood. Ecclesiasticus 9 verse 11, envy not the glory of a sinner, for thou knowest not what shall be his end. Okay, you see a lot of these rappers, and they go back to this guy. This guy, he blew up, he made it, and then he got killed, gunned down in his own hood. How many rappers you see that? And all this dude rapped about was robbing, stealing, killing. Okay, that's all he promoted in his lyrics. Very, very dark lyrics this man had. And that glory that he lived in was just for a moment, and he got, gunned down. As you see that happen with a lot of, in particular, the men of our nation, starting with the tribe of Judah. Okay, let's get another one speaking on that. Our people being, coming from this impoverished situations, gotta rob, shoot, kill, steal, whatever to get up, but you shooting your own brother. The Proverbs 12 verse 26, the righteous, which is supposed to be the Israelites, is more excellent than his neighbor, but the way of the wicked seduceth them. Okay, and that's the ways of Esau, the so-called self-proclaimed WHITE man. That's how he got his kingdom, by bloodshed, graping and robbing this North American, Native American Indians, so-called. Okay, putting the rest, Southern Kingdom, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi in chains by way of ship. Okay, and getting free labor, and then stealing the land from the rest of the tribes. That's how this man, built his empire. We not supposed to be in that same mindset, okay? And the Lord judges our people quick for moving in that type of way. Isaiah going on these curses of Jake being posted up in the streets. Isaiah 51 verse 20, thy sons have fainted. They lie at the head of all the streets. As a wild bull in a net, they are full of the fury of the Lord, the rebuke of thy power. Okay, and we see that. And you go to any of these cities. I was just in, actually, I'll save that. But as a pretty well-traveled man, it don't matter what city you are in Babylon the Great America. If you see Judah, you gonna see Judah posted up in front of the store, posted up in front of the gas station, the chicken store, okay, just doing nothing, okay, lying at the head of the streets. And let's get to the third screenshot. He says they could have been boxers, ball players, or rap singers. Instead, they bank robbers and crack slingers. Ayo, they used to be legit kids. Now they corrupt. They had dreams, but gave them up because they're street struck. Okay, and that also reminds me of a lyric when he says they could have been boxers, ball players, or rap singers. All that is entertainment. That's just a higher level slave. Okay, it reminds me of this quote right around the same time. I believe this album came out in '95. This is Jay-Z, Can't Knock the Hustle, and he says I believe they messed up the lyrics. I believe he says us, all us blacks got is sports and entertainment until we even. Okay, and that's what Esau does. He props these Jakes up, in particular, NBA, NFL, MLB, gives them an exorbitant amount of money to, and it says a gift destroyeth the heart. Our people, because they can be a wide receiver on the Minnesota Vikings or something think that they're not still enslaved to this day, but they catch the same curses. They're subject to payment as well, all right? And all that, meanwhile, while our people are just trying to be high-level entertainers, which is a corruptible crown, you got these heathen nations setting up shop right in front of us in our own hood. I was just in Cincinnati, Ohio yesterday, and man, it was super hood where I was, and you had Jake posted up deep, older and younger Jakes, probably about my age, early 30s on down to maybe 10, 11-year-old Jakes just hugging the block outside this little plaza where there's a liquor store, okay? And that goes back to slavery. Esau, getting our people drunk to kill each other, okay? Yeah, they had a liquor store, and they was posted out between the liquor store and this chicken store. And I went in because I was on the road, had to make a move, just got a couple chicken tenders, right? And I asked the guy where he was from, and he said he was from Egypt, okay? So all these heathen nations, no matter what city you go to, they got their own businesses right in Judah's neighborhood, okay, siphoning all the resources and wealth out. Meanwhile, you also had this big booty Eve sitting in a little dress with her cheeks all out. This is the curses written, and let me through the Spirit, let's get that again. Amos 7 verse 17, man. This shows you we really need salvation, and our people, them curses hit hard. Them curses hit us heavy, starting with the tribe of Judah. Amos 7 verse 17. Therefore, thus said the Lord, thy wife shall be an harlot in the city, and thy sons and thy daughters shall fall by the sword, and thy land shall be divided by line, and thou shalt die in a polluted land. And Israel shall surely go into captivity forth of his land. And you see that in it's written in Baruch, the 4th chapter, on the neighbors of Zion have seen our captivity. And that's pursuant as well to Psalms 83 and Lamentations, the 2nd chapter, I believe verse 15 and 16. All these heathen nations have conspired to kick our ass as a nation, okay, and swallow us up. And you see that starting with the tribe of Judah. They come through, set up shop in our own hood, and siphon all the resources we had, okay? But we used to have businesses. We used to have 2-parent homes. We used to have all that. And Esau, the devil that he is, he infiltrated that through the women's rights movement, and as well as tearing our businesses down. But really, it was of the Lord. Because Micah 2 and 10, this is not our rest. So let me, close this out with a couple scriptures on Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. But the beauty of it is we got a kingdom of righteousness, a kingdom of rest, a kingdom to come where we're not on the bottom. There's going to be a role reversal. We're now going to be on top. And it's you heathen nations' turn to drink that cup of them curses of poverty, okay, of a low estate. Deuteronomy 28 verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, you heathen nations, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he had destroyed thee. And Esau done destroyed our people here, man. Completely destroyed. And that plaza I'm talking about, they had a little store where Eve can go, buy her wigs and little scantily clad dresses and eyelashes and all that. That guarantee that's owned by a heathen. Okay, they had the chicken shop, which was owned by a heathen, looked to be an Ishmaelite. Okay, and then they had a liquor store as well, owned by either some Elam, I believe they were Elamites, so-called Indians, okay? This is we got to go to the enemy for the one of all things, okay? We don't have nothing on this side. We have no continuing city. And let's close off on this. And what does that do? It creates a scarcity mindset, okay? That to covet, because our people don't have anything, but that curses, instead of actually the real ops, who are these heathen nations, starting with Esau, Edom, we view each other as the ops and shoot and rob and kill each other. And, but it's all good. That's why Yahweh Shai is coming, to raise up his remnant. Lord willing, we be of that number, and is going to be a major reversal. And it's your turn, you heathen nations, to catch that hell. Isaiah 42 verse 22. But this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes. They are hid in prison houses. They are for a prey, and none delivereth, for a spoil, and none saith restore. Okay, so if you don't end up, dying out here and in the streets, being street struck, dying on the corner, your ass go to jail and get locked up. Okay, and that don't just happen to, more likely for Jake in poverty for that to happen. But look at all these entertainers that our people want to be like. Look at how many boxers and ball players and rappers done went to the grave early, or done went to jail. Mike Tyson, all that money he had, and his ass still had to go to jail. Okay, what's his name? Wesley Snipes. His ass, they got him for tax evasion. All these rappers dying every day, every other week. Okay, so it shows you this is a corruptible crown, but the Lord is coming to with the remnant, starting with his elect. Lord willing, we be of that, to give us, Lord willing, we inherit that incorruptible crown, which we truly want, because everything on this side is just vain and it's bullshit and it's killing our people, starting with the tribe of Judah and on down. I hope this was edifying. Shalom.